Yo, what's good, YouTube? This is Jake from TNJ, and we're back for more Mariners franchise here on the channel, so hit that like button. And we're starting out this episode at the All-Star break, starting with the Futures game. Look at who we have in the game. Ronald Marte. I think everybody's starting to take notice off of the great year that this guy is having, but his first at-bat in the AL Future lineup is going to be a ground out there to third base, but he is hitting 291, slugging at 448. I just really like what he's doing for our organization because, you know, we have Jarred Kelenic. He's one of our top offensive prospects, but, you know, I need another guy, and I think Marte is going to be that guy. So up come his third at bat. Here in the fifth inning, one out, guy on first base. He's going to blast one to the wall in left field, and that one is going to be a gapper, and it's going to score the first runner of the game here with one out. So Marte already showing what he's got on one of the biggest stages for the prospects here in every organization. So now in his fourth at bat, 1 for 3 so far in this game. Here in the top of the 7th, facing Munoz. He gets a pitch to hit right over the middle, and it's going to be a missile to left field, and that one is over the wall in left field. Ronald Marte. Just remember this name when it comes to seasons in the future of this franchise. I think this guy could potentially be the best player in this entire franchise when it's all said and done. I think he's got the potential to be a superstar at the next level, and you can just see the AL Futures team did go on to win this game 3-1 off of 2 RBIs and a 2-for-5 game from Ronald Marte. He wins MVP of that game. So let's switch over to the MLB level as we look at the All-Stars in the AL, as Carlos Rodon does not make it. He had a great year, but Dan Altavilla does make it. Look at the progression this guy has. Plus 10 in hits per 9, plus 4 in strikeouts, plus 6 in walks. I mean, he is at 81 overall in B potential right now, and right now they have him listed as our star player, and I really like that. I'm so glad that we have. I just love to home grow some guys, and seeing that Altavilla is going to be that guy, I think that is just remarkable. But just looking at the rest of the AL, we don't have any more All-Stars. Malik Smith does not make the All-Star team. He is just below 300. That's not good enough to beat out Mike Trout, not even close. So we have one All-Star, and it's a relief pitcher. That's kind of embarrassing, to be honest. So let's look at the rest of the All-Stars here for the NL. Trey Turner at short, Acuna at left, Senzel at center. Now, this is really interesting. This guy is doing really well for the Cincinnati Reds as he is just tearing the cover off the ball. And Cody Bellinger, he actually does not get the top votes in right field. Bryce Harper does edge him out. Maybe it's the home run total, but he's hitting 345. Man, he is a monster. So let's hop into this game. I wanted to see what it's like to hit with a couple of the AL guys. So we have Mookie Betts at the plate. He hits one to left field, and man, it feels good to hit with these guys that I know can smack the ball. Like Paul DeJong, for example. It's so fun to hit the ball with him. I know he can hit the ball well. And look at Mookie Betts. He actually makes it all the way to third on that one. I don't know what the defense was doing. So up comes Mike Trout. I wanted to see what an at-bat with Mike Trout is like. And look at this. I mean, he just hits it up the middle. I didn't even have that squared up. You know I use zone hitting, and that one wasn't even squared up, and he still found a way to muscle that one through the infield. So now we get to see Dan Altavilla on the mound. Look at this ERA, .28 in 32 innings pitched. I mean, that's just unheard of. This reminds me of the first season Josh Hader was at the MLB level, and nobody could touch him. That's kind of what Altavilla is doing here in this season. So now he's on the mound facing Christian Yelich here in his first at-bat here facing, and he's going to get a pop-out to left field. Some nice start for him as we got one out here in the 6th inning in a 9-3 game. As here's Juan Soto hitting 349. He is having a phenomenal year as well. And on a 1-1 count, here's Altavilla with the low pitch, and he's going to get the ground out that time. And now it's 2 outs here in the inning, and maybe he'll go 1-2-3 with Bryce Harper coming to the plate. Maybe the 26 home runs is what got him the start in the All-Star game. Who knows? So now on a 1-2 count here with 2 outs in the inning, he gets a pitch, in the dirt, and he's going to swing and miss, and that is going to be a 1-2-3 inning for our lone all-star, as the AL actually goes on to win this game. Not exactly 9-3, but it was a good win for the AL here, as I'm proud of my one all-star, as he got a 1-2-3 inning. That was only his one inning of work, and Francisco Lindor gets the MVP of the all-star game. So now we switch gears once again to another all-star game, this time at the AAA level, the PCL, the Pacific Coast League All-Stars versus the International League All-Stars, and we have another couple of all-stars in this one. We're going right back to Ronald Marte, and he is hitting fourth in the lineup at DH. You know, I think I need to get new coaching, because I see that a lot of guys aren't progressing the way I thought they would. Ronald Marte should be progressing a little more. He kind of cooled off a little bit. And I looked at our coaching. It's at a C, actually. So in the offseason, that's going to be a big thing for me, just getting better coaching. I actually I thought I hired some better coaching, but I guess I didn't. I don't know what I'm going to do there. So maybe I have to fire some coaches. We have a ton of money to spend. We didn't spend any money in free agency last year. I mean, this is going to be a huge free agent class for us, and we're going to spend. I don't know how much, but we're going to spend. So here's Marte up at the plate in his first at-bat of this game, and he strikes out. That's Steven Wright on the mound, and that was just a knuckler at 63 miles an hour. Here's another one. This one, 59 miles an hour, as Yonder Alonso is actually an all-star as well with Marte. So now here he is at his second at-bat. He's going to hit one to right field. That one is going to be caught, but he does do the job of moving the runner over. So can Yonder Alonso come to the plate and come through here with guys on the corners here on a 1-2 count here? One out. He's going to hit a liner, and that's through the infield and a hit. And we do get the first run across the board for the Pacific Coast League All-Star. So now here comes Ronald up to the plate. 0 for 2 so far. He's going to swing and miss at an inside slider, a little bit too late on that one. And here he comes up for his fourth at bat, and on a 2-1 count, he gets a pitch to hit. He's going to hit it hard up the middle, but that is a nice backhand by the second baseman, throwing to first and barely getting Marte on that play. But it's nice to see our young guy Marte getting some work, as he wasn't even our top pick last year. Warner Zamora was, and Marte is actually showing that he might be the best draft pick we had in our first draft. So I wanted to look around the league a little bit just to see what's going on as we near the trade deadline, and Joe Adell gets traded from the Angels. What are they thinking on this? I mean, Joe Adell is one of the best young players in the minor league system, and look at him, A potential, 67 overall, and only 20 years old. I'm actually really surprised that they did this. And look, they even had him at the MLB level already at only 67 overall, and that's pretty surprising. I don't know what the Angels were thinking there, but a questionable trade there by the CPU. So then we hop into some action here. Texas is 55-35. I mean, they are just having a great year so far. They're in first place by a wide margin. So I've been looking at our offense, and I think we do need some temporary help. Either guy that I sign here is probably going to be boosted right back up to what he would be. So all these -2s on Lenny Martin, if we did go with him, he would go back up, +2 in every category. I don't like that MLB The Show does that. I don't like that at all. I mean, it's just stupid. Guys do get old, that's true, but I don't want to, kind of penalize them for just being free agents. So Nelson Cruz was a big option there, but I actually go after Nelson Cruz in every franchise. And this year, I don't want to just keep getting the same guys, so I'm just going to leave him alone. But he is remarkable. I mean, he hit 297 last season. And a couple of other guys I looked at, Freddie Galvis, he's a pretty good option, but I want a guy who can pretty much hit for average. And I'm looking at David Freese. He hit 298 last season, 296 the year before that. I think he's the perfect guy to kind of just fit in, and hopefully he can hit the ground running. So we're going to go after him, sign him to a one-year deal. Like I said, we have a ton of money. Look at our cash flow. It's at $181.81 million. I mean, that is a lot. That means we're not spending any money at all. So he's actually going to hit in the 4 spot versus right-handers. I'm going to kind of platoon him, and I just need that much-needed bat because Vogelback, man, I just can't believe like how much our offense dipped since he's been out of the lineup, but maybe he's just the heart and soul of this team. I have no idea. So now we hop into the game. Texas in first place And we have a good pitching matchup here as Carlos Rodon is on the mound versus Jose Barrios. Jose Barrios is a young pitcher, really good for the Rangers, and he is their ace right now. And 110 strikeouts to 40 walks, close to a 115 whip, which is really good. And I really like this young Texas Rangers team. I think this might be our rival in this franchise. So now in the first inning, here is Carlos Rodon on the bump, getting Chin-Soo Choo to strike out that time. He's hitting around 300, and with 2 outs, he gets Joey Gallo 2 strikeouts. So 2 strikeouts there in the first inning as we move this one on to the bottom of the first. So can our offense get going here in the second half of the season? Here is Malik Smith starting it out. He's hitting around 300, but he can't get a hit that time. Up comes Tim Beckham, who I love. He is probably my favorite player in this series just because he's the underdog, kind of around 30 years old. That isn't considered old, but it's not considered young as well. In baseball, I think that's when they start going into their prime, right around 30 years old. So maybe Tim Beckham's just in his prime right now. So up comes Paul DeJong. Look at those splits. If you guys notice those splits, versus left-handers, this guy is hitting below 120. Versus right-handers, he's hitting like 360. That's ridiculous. So up comes David Freese for his first at-bat, and he hits one up the middle, and look at our man DeJong all the way to third on that one. So now we got guys on the corners here with Uebiyashi at the plate, our biggest signing of the last offseason. He gets a pitch on the outside part of the zone, and that one's going to be ball 4. So Kyle Seager up at the plate, hitting 234. We need him to get going here. And on a 3-2 count, 2 outs, he gets a pitch to hit, and it's a hard pitch to hit, and that one is gone. Over the wall, a grand slam for Kyle Seager. Man, what a way to start out the second half of the year for Seager. Maybe this will jolt him because, you know, I do believe in keeping guys on the rosters long term, and I like having a guy that's been a lifelong player for an organization. In my last franchise with the Miami Marlins, it was Justin Bour. This time, I think I'm going to keep Kyle Seager. I just don't want to let him go. I think that, you know, just having guys that you just, you know, pay your respects to, I think he's a veteran that I just want to keep around. So Tim Beckham does start out the third inning with a double. Up comes David Freese. Here it is, second at bat as a Mariner. He hits one to the right side. It's the best thing you can do besides getting a hit in that situation, moving the runner over. So now up comes Uebiyashi with 2 outs in the inning. Guy on third. He gets a hard liner to left center, and that one is going to make it to the wall. And it's 5-1 here in the third inning as Uebiyashi, hopefully he can get going. If he can get around 270 to end the year, kind of that same jump that J.P. Crawford had, I would be pretty happy. So up comes Kyle Seager here with 2 outs, 1-2 count. He swings that one out of the zone, and he actually got good wood on that one, but ends up being a pop-up to left field in Ozuna. So now in the 6th inning, here is Uebiyashi at the plate once again, and on a 2-1 count, that one is gone. And man, like I just said, if Uebiyashi can hit the ball well in the second half, I think we got a good shot. He could be kind of a battery pack for this lineup and just hit the ball hard in spurts and drive in runs and do his thing in the middle of the lineup. So let's move this one on to the 9th inning. Can we close this game out and get out of here with the victory here after the All-Star break? But Kikuchi is on the mound. He has struggled in this series, hasn't been the most efficient pitcher because we had to move him to the bullpen, and right away he gives up 2 base runners. So we bring in Anyelo Gomez, and that's the guy we traded for in the Anthony Swarzak trade as he comes in relief here with Ronald Guzman at the plate in the 7th hole. And that's going to be a walk. So bases loaded here with Wins at the plate. Can we get him out? But another walk. So now we walk in a run. It's 6-3. So let's bring in our closer, Sam Tuivailala. He's got 9 saves on the year, 2.70 ERA. Let's get out of this jam. So up comes Nick Ahmed at the plate, and he gets a pitch to hit. And no, it gets to the wall in left center, and Malik Smith comes up throwing. And it's 5-6 here with no outs in the inning. So Nick Ahmed comes through with the 2-run double, and up comes Rovnet Odor, and he gets walked. I wanted to intentionally walk him, but I kind of wanted to pitch around him, see if he would have swung at a bad pitch, so I'm not mad. But up comes Chin-Soo Choo. He hits a chopper up the middle, and it's just going to be a double play, but that is enough to score the runner. And now it is 6-6 here with a 4-run ninth inning here for the Texas Rangers. They end up tying this game up, and Ozuna does pop up to center field, and we move into the ninth inning here. 6-6. What a collapse by our bullpen. So now they bring in Jose Leclerc here. Not in a save opportunity situation, but he is trying to get some work and get them into extra innings. So up comes Kyle Seager with the chopper right back to him. That's not going to do it for the first out. Up comes Omar Narvaez. Remember, he hit 340 last year, and now he's down to like 260, and he's hitting a pop-up to left field. So 2 outs here in the inning. Up comes Domingo Santana, who has dropped in the lineup. Now at the 8 hole, he gets a slider, and he's going to foul that one off here on the first pitch. Now 2-2.
And the 2-2. A drive to left. Get out of here. Get out of here.
And Domingo Santana comes through in the clutch and wins this game here to open the second half of the season here in 2020. Here in season 2, we have had an identity crisis. I think we're just up and down. The bullpen's the problem. Now the offense is the problem. And I don't know what's going on, but this team just finds a way to win games sometimes, and that's off of the bat of Domingo as we get the 7-6 victory. So let's look around the league as we move towards the trade deadline. Eddie Rosario gets traded to the Cardinals, and the Cardinals give up Colton Wong and Alex Reyes. I'm actually really surprised that Eddie Rosario does get accepted by the Cardinals. I mean, that's a lot to give up for that guy. And I guess the Twins are all in. They're getting 2 good players. So then we make a move of our own. Yandy Diaz is, a guy that we acquired, but Vogelback is nearing his return. And Mariano Casto coming over from the New York Yankees organization. He's 18 years old. He was just drafted last season, and he is from Cuba. I really like him, and we actually got offered this trade from them. So I actually decided to re-offer it back to them, and I actually accepted it this time. And Yandy Diaz, this actually makes a lot of sense for the Yankees. He's their best overall first baseman right now, as Greg Bird is not having a good year. So Yandy Diaz is going to be starting for them. So he gets what he wants because he was in our minor league system, and we actually had to make that trade too because, with Vogelback coming back, we do have a full 40-man roster. So we were just over with 41, so we had to get rid of one guy. So actually the next 9 games, we actually slide a little bit, losing 3 of 4 to Texas, then 2 of 3 to Texas. We do lose or win 2 in a row versus the Giants, but we get good news. Next episode will feature the comeback of Daniel Vogelback back into the lineup. It's going to be a huge boost for us as we need to make a playoff run, and we're just inconsistent right now. And hopefully Vogelback will be the difference, because I think that he will jolt energy into this offense because we really, really need it. And it seems like the Texas Rangers are just running away with this division. As you can just see, they are 11 games ahead in first place, 9-1 in their last 10, just on a tear. And we are 4 games over 500, but only 6 games back from that wild card spot. We just need to go on a run here, and hopefully we can do it with Vogelback returning to the lineup. So that's going to do it for this episode. We are going to start out next episode with the debut of Vogelback coming back from the injured list. So you don't want to miss that one. Hit subscribe, hit that like button. The trade deadline is also coming up, so who knows what we'll do there. Stay tuned. Let's get it. Let's go.